to another episode of Dose and a Half Cinco. This is episode number 20.
Is it?
Yeah. As always, I am your host, David.
Right, I'm Stuart. Sorry.
I'm Ben.
I was too blown away by the episode number.
And the other one is Ben.
I said I'm Ben.
Yeah, Ben's here, everyone.
I'm Ben. It's me, the most important Cinco.
So yeah, I think this is an incredible accomplishment. We have recorded 5 months worth of episodes, and we've only posted
Half
3
of
of
them.
them. Yeah. So stay tuned. You guys will definitely be getting more of them pretty soon. But we hope you guys enjoyed our Christmas episode of the game Blockbuster. Let us know in the comments below if you guys are interested in seeing us do more movie games or just more games in general.
We're just gonna do them anyways. So,
but at least let them think that they have some input. I mean,
I really hated it when you guys were playing that game. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Oh, more games, huh?
all right.
Okay.
So we're doing let's do an entire series now. We're just only doing games. We're gonna do Pictionary. And you're not even going to be able to see what they drew. Actually, I think that'd be really that'd be really funny to see it on YouTube.
We're gonna do charades, but only audio.
But yeah, no, I had a great time recording the Christmas episode. Definitely shout out once again to everybody who was in attendance. I think that was a smashing success. We definitely have some people who are expressed interest in joining our podcast. So in a future podcast, you might be hearing from some of your other favorites. But yeah, before we get going, I wanted to wish both of you a happy new year. It is 2020, and this is our 20th episode.
Oh,
wow.
Look at
man.
that. Woo.
2020.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I think we'll just have to probably name that that's probably going to be the episode.
Just like 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020.
And see how many numbers they'll let us go.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, I think there was an error that happened. But other than that, guys, I think it's going to be a really good year for the Dose and a Half Cincos podcast. I definitely have a good feeling we're going to get sponsored this year. And it'll be our opportunity. This is our year to sell out. I feel it.
We were trying to sell out in 2019, but now for real, we're trying to sell out.
Well, yeah, the 2019 was that. Hey, yeah, we're open to sponsorships and selling out and selling our brand. And if we ever got approached, we'd be like, no, we're actually about the people.
Yeah,
this year, if we get approached, we're definitely
it's
gonna
all
do
money. I don't care who it is.
All about the money. That's right. All about the swag.
If someone gives us money, I don't care. I don't care who it is. It could be the My Pillow guy or fucking. I don't care. It could be anyone.
I don't care. It could be the My Pillow guy. Whoa, Stu, what is up with you? What's this animosity towards the My Pillow guy?
What's wrong with my pillow?
Nothing's wrong with My Pillow.
Why is
I'm
that
just-
such a...
Is there something wrong with your pillow?
What?
All right, well, let's not go too far off the rails here. All right, so besides the big movie of the week or of last year, Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker, did you guys see anything else? Any interesting Netflix movies or shows you guys seen?
Specifically Netflix?
No, not necessarily. Anything besides our movie of the week this week, which is Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker, or our movie of the week next week, which is 1917.
I think, I don't know. Did we all finish Mandalorian?
I did.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Mandalorian. I've finished Mandalorian.
I think that's one of those, this is one of those series that I don't think we really need to dive in too deep. I feel like everybody's caught up on this one. I'm hoping before they went to go see the new Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time saying the name over and over again.
Because it's the language barrier.
It's really coming true. It's coming
ESL.
through now in 2020. Okay. Well, but I have been watching You on Netflix.
Huh?
You guys ever catch any?
Detective You?
Wow.
No, not Detective You. This was really confusing trying to explain to people.
I'm watching
They're
you.
like, hey, what else are you watching? I'm like,
Hey,
you. And he goes, you're watching me?
Hey,
I was
I'm
like,
watching
"No."
you.
Yeah.
Hey, just
no,
wanted
it's
you to
a
know.
TV show about a obsessive guy who turns kind of like into a stalker or whatever. And then what ends up, the reason why I ended up watching most of it is because after watching, I can't remember which movie it was, on Netflix, they had a preview, or they had a one of those trailers for season 2. You is out, and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, it seems kind of interesting. And I come home, and Evan and Stephanie are watching. I think they're on episode 4, and I'm just like, what happened? And some stuff happened in it. Mystery and deception. Yeah, it was actually pretty interesting. So I definitely want you guys. I would recommend watching at least a couple episodes. I think it's pretty interesting.
Nice.
You, Netflix.
Well, I've been watching The Witcher. That just came out recently.
Oh, how is Henry? How do you say his last name?
Cavill.
The guy who played Superman in Smallville.
Cavill, whatever.
Cavill?
Cavill?
Yeah, how is he?
Cavill? Cavill?
Wait, did you say he was in
Cavill?
Smallville?
Was he?
No, he was in Man of Steel.
He was just regular
Oh.
Superman.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the better Superman.
Yeah.
Okay.
He well, I really really like it. I mean, I think it's not the most perfect show, but damn, like Henry, he really brings out the swagger of Geralt, or the main character, you know. He definitely has the attitude for it. He
My question is, do you have to have played the games to be able to appreciate this?
I wouldn't say so, because I have never played the games, you know. So I just know of them. Not only that, but the games were based off of a book, so this is actually more based on the book than the games, I believe.
Yeah. Ben would just play the card game.
Yeah.
That was in the game.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I bought it, and then as soon as I started, it was like, oh, hey, this is card game that you can play on the side.
Yeah.
And that's
Ben just spent all his time in the brothels and playing card game.
yeah, there was always the option for sex or play the card game.
And it was always either one.
But yeah, I would definitely recommend The Witcher. It's at least worth just a check. The first season's out. Really good fight scenes, really great humor, and yeah, I mean, Henry Cavill, holy shit, he really sells the part.
Interesting. All right. Well, I'll definitely have to check that out because I hear there's a lot of parallel. Well, I hear a lot of people saying like The Witcher was what The Mandalorian is to Disney Plus in terms of like this adventure story, and it's supposed to be able to kind of like springboard another set of series and stuff like that. So I definitely think it definitely is warranted of a watch based on just a couple of things I've heard from you and other people who have also mentioned that show in general. So, all right, well, let's jump straight into it. I think there's some interesting stuff that happened over the weekend. What we're talking about is our box office rundown. In the number one spot, to nobody's surprise, is Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, coming in with $72 million. That holds on to the top spot for a second week in a row. The number 1, 2, and 3 movies actually in the box office rundown actually have not changed. So number 2 is still Jumanji: The Next Level. Frozen 2 is still number 3. So in the top 5, we have 2 newcomers. Number 4 is Little Women. Number 5 is Spies in Disguise with $13.3 million. That is the Will Smith and
Tom Holland.
what is his name?
Tom
Tom Holland
Spider-Man.
cartoon or animated film about a spy who turns into a pigeon.
Yeah. Hey, real quick. Did anyone know that movie was coming out before it was released?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, it's just me then.
Well, I know David
Oh,
really
did you
wants
not
to
see the posters and the movie previews?
No, I did not see a single preview for this movie until it was already out.
Really?
Or like an ad for it. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, so you got surprised the same way that you got surprised that Snow Dogs came out.
Arctic dogs.
Well, I've been anticipating Snow Dogs and Arctic Dogs since like I've been following that
I'm
one
sorry,
very
Arctic
closely.
Dogs. Yeah, sorry.
I was following that one very closely since pre-production, since they were writing the script for it. Really,
Were you the one who wrote the script?
I mean, we don't have to get into who wrote scripts and who didn't write scripts, but for Arctic Dogs, but let's just say I have a close eye on it.
Arctic Dogs, a Stuart Yang film.
Hey, I mean, I mean, if you're gonna, let me see, real quick. Sorry for the quick digression here, but
Sorry, a Stuart Yang.
if I'm gonna make, if you want to give me 50 million of the 50, or a couple million of the 50 million budget, to write the script for Arctic Dogs, I'm down. I mean, I'll take it.
Production notes: Arctic Dogs 2, written by Stuart Yang.
Yeah. I mean, not even a million. Give me like 100,000, 500,000.
Whoa, hey, Stu, don't sell yourself short.
Okay.
It is
50,000.
at least bare minimum $10 million.
Okay. So 1/5 of the budget.
That's right. 1/5 of the budget. And that would have placed it in the top 5, for sure. So yeah, if we take a look at the rest of the top 10, we have not so many surprises. Number 6 is Knives Out. That was our movie of the week 2 weeks ago, before our Christmas episode. Number 7 is Uncut Gems, up from number 15. Cats is net number 8, down from number 4. I believe this is a re-release. I mean, I think that there was a couple of things I wanted to talk about that, but let's go ahead and finish up the wrap-up. Number 9 is Bombshell. Number 10, Richard Jewell. We had a couple that used to be in the top 10 that fell out of it. Number 11, Ford v Ferrari, and Queen and Slim drops from number 8 to all the way down to number 12. I heard Ben make a noise when I mentioned Cats as number 8.
Yeah.
Ben, I'll let you talk about Cats, and then I'll see if you wanted to make the same point that I did, and then I'll let you kind of run with it. So why did you make that noise when I said Cats at number 8?
Well, because, come on, it's going to be the movie of the year. Not only that, but I mean, I don't want to say too much about it since it's going to be our movie of the week next week.
Wow.
So, yeah, we'll leave it for next week's review.
Okay.
I thought 1917 was going to be our movie.
Okay,
of the
that's
week
a good
next
one,
week.
Dave. That's a good one. Come on, we're watching.
Wait.
Cats.
Okay, then my question is, if Cats is our movie of the week next week, does that mean that we're going to be doing the first cut release viewing of Cats?
I don't even know if the new cut is out yet. I know that they're submitting it. I don't know when it's actually coming out, but I'll let you know.
Oh, this isn't the new cut? This is the old one?
I'm not sure, honestly. I know that
I think they pulled it.
Oh, they did. They already did pull it, and they already submitted the new one. Well then,
I
Hang
think
on.
so.
I'm gonna speak on behalf of the audience here and ask, what the fuck are you talking about? New cut.
So,
and old cut?
all right, hold on. Okay, so Cats was I'm sure you probably know about this part. Cats was a Broadway musical, and it was released and then they decided to do an adaptation of.
Okay, we don't have to go that far back.
The Tony Award-winning Broadway musical by casting.
So in 1984, Okay, sorry. Continue.
With a huge, expensive cast. Jason Derulo is in this one. Taylor Swift is in this one. James Corden is in here. And then so I guess they had maybe possibly like rushed it or something like that. But the reviews for it are not very friendly. That's one. And then the second one is when they first released it, the first cut actually had some issues with the CGI wasn't completely done correctly or something like that. And some of the scenes have the actors actually, instead of having CGI paws, they still have human hands.
Wow.
oh man.
So there was all types of like disaster that happened with this one. It's been kind of people have been talking about it recently. And then somebody at work yesterday read a review and it was filled with cat puns. It's like, oh, Cats, the Andrew Lloyd Webber adaptation, directed by This is directed by the same guy who directed, oh boy, King's Speech. I don't know how you have such a great film that wins Best Picture, and then you direct this. So, apparently Taylor Swift is the star of the show, actually does a really good job. I think Jennifer Hudson's also in this film. This is an expensive film. It cost $95 million, and they've only recouped $4.8 million last week. Total is 17.8. They are in a
Who's the studio?
Universal.
Maybe tax write-off.
This is their charitable donation for 2019.
Yeah. Oh, man, we thought we'd make so much money. Oh, I guess we'll have to write it off as a loss.
Yeah, so that's that. I mean, if you guys want, I'm definitely planning on probably seeing it. I just want to see how bad it possibly could be because it seems like it is critically not good.
Well, I'm seeing it tomorrow, so...
Really?
Yeah, I really am. I really...
Wow. That's
actually
unfortunate.
Let's throw it live to Ben in the studio watching Cats.
Yeah. Ben, just Skype us from the movie theater. I'm sure no one will care.
Okay, guys, all the guys in fursuits are giving me a stink eye. I think they're just staring at me. I'm putting my helmet back on.
Guys, I'm getting beaten up by furries now.
All right. So, besides that, any other things of note in the top 10 that you guys thought was noteworthy?
Oh shit! I just closed the thing.
Do you guys know anything about Uncut Gems?
I'm watching that today. I mean, it's from the Safdie brothers. It's supposed to be a really a very stressful movie with Adam Sandler supposedly giving a very, very good performance. Other than that, I don't know. Oh, and Kevin Garnett's in it.
Is this one that's going to be released to Netflix also?
No.
Oh, okay. Is this the one where he plays a pimp? Or he, like, something like that? Like, he runs...
I'm not sure what he is, but he's, like, something to do with, like, hustling and gambling or something like that.
Okay. I think I saw probably 2 previews of this, and it looked interesting. I just never really thought of Adam Sandler in that role.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's done some dramatic roles. You know, he does it once every, 5 years or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, every time he has done, a dramatic role, it has been pretty good, so...
Okay.
We'll see.
All right. Well, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure it'll probably get released into even more theaters right now. I think, Ben, I'll wait for your feedback on that one because it does definitely look interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that does it for our box office rundown. We're gonna jump straight into our movie of the week because I know everybody has been talking about it and been waiting and trying to find out what our thoughts are on Star Wars Episode 9. So I'll let Ben take it away.
This is the 9th episode of the Star Wars movie franchise.
Don't sound so excited.
Yeah.
All right, so Stu.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Stu, what are your thoughts on Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker?
I liked it.
Okay, rating?
Sorry, I was trying to be Ben.
Yeah.
If Ben can get away with forward answers,
But he's not wrong. Well, that wasn't,
Yeah.
it's true. He's not wrong. I can't argue.
Hey, Ben, take it away. This is the 9th episode. I mean, technically, if you don't know what's going on by the 9th one, I don't think we're going to be shocking anybody with shaking any worlds by giving a new synopsis.
Yeah. Ben's just using the Blockbuster quote it rules right now for trying the synopsis.
Well, actually, I couldn't because Star Wars.
His movie. If this was Blockbuster and he said quote it on the card said Star Wars Episode 9: The Rise of Skywalker, he would have probably said something along the lines of, "Oh, it's a group of guys who are fighting in space.
I don't even think
there's a rising of a Skywalker."
They would just say a movie with light swords and magic powers and force powers. That's all they would say. Like
Harry Potter.
Well,
yeah.
he's not
No,
wrong.
they don't have light swords.
Well, isn't the sword of Gryffindor a light sword?
Wow. Wow.
Like a lightweight sword.
Yeah,
Wow.
light sword.
Wow.
Okay. But anyways, back to what I thought about episode 9. I did like it. I wasn't fibbing. I wasn't joshing or anything. I did really like it, which was very refreshing for me because before it came out, I went back and basically rewatched all the episodes, basically in the order that they were released. So 4 through 6, 1 through 3, and then 7 and 8. And so I was very nervous because I've heard things. People were talking like, "Oh, someone told me that there was an article that said episode 9 worst Star Wars yet." So that got me a little worried. But then when I saw it, I was pleasantly surprised. Especially because I had just finished episode 8 the night before. So I'll give it 8 out of 10.
I like how we let Stu go. I make Stu go first.
Mm-hmm.
So, see where like the bar is being set.
Oh yeah. Wow. So I'm the one risking everything here.
That's a pretty high bar.
And Ben, how about for you?
Well, can
Loved it, hated
I
it.
take a detour here really quick? Could I we've all seen every Star Wars film at this point, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what is your guys' list, I guess? What's the best Star Wars movie? What's the worst? How do you rank each Star Wars film?
For me, I think it changes all the time based on whatever film I've watched.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, usually, except for if I watch one, I'm not like, yes, one's the best one.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, in terms of everything, 4 is the best one. Because it sets up so many plot lines and it leaves so many. It's kind of like it leaves so many like question blanks that you want to get filled, and it causes you to have to watch more of them. In terms of, I think if I was to look at what renewed my feelings for it, I think the Force Awakens probably would be one of the better ones as well. So it'd probably be for me was 4, 7. And then the rest of them kind of are all like jumbled in a.
Here come the angry letters.
I know.
I don't know if I have an order for it, but I know for me, like 5 would be at the top.
Yeah.
5, and then the original trilogy would be mixed in there with probably episode 7 and 9, and then in reverse order the episode 1 through 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be 3 would have been the better of the original 3, even though it doesn't have any pod racing. I know, Ben, shut up.
Wait, you're saying the pod racing one's at the very bottom for you, Stu?
Yeah, actually, hang on. I might have to, after rewatching episode 8, having to rewatch episode 8 again. It's making a strong argument for taking the final spot over episode 1.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard that one probably fell flat. It definitely did not live up to the hype that it was. But when it comes to those episodes that bridge other movies, I think that sometimes there might be a dud in there, just because they have to get to a certain plot point. They have to reach certain bridges and stuff like that. So I could see why that would definitely place it towards the bottom.
Because I saw episode 8 in theaters, I think twice, and then I watched it again the night before seeing episode 9, and I gotta say there were more parts in that movie where I was annoyed than I was than I was enjoying it. Like the scenes were like all the cool scenes from episode 8 that we all know, like the lightsaber fight in the Snoke room, whatever that room was, all that stuff. So, yeah, so that's why it's kind of a tie right now for last place.
Wow. Here comes more angry letters.
Yeah, to Ben for what you're about to say.
Yeah, this is gonna be a super hot take. Super hot take. So, I have made my list of Star Wars films rankings, and number 1 is Episode 1 because of the pod racing.
Obviously,
The pod
yes.
racing, and then number 2
Clearly.
is Star Wars N64 Racer. Then number 3.
Okay, we're gonna
is
do all Star Wars.
just anything with racing in it is in the top
Rogue
5.
Squadron.
Was number 3 Rogue Squadron on N64?
No, it was the other pod racing game for the PS2.
And then number 4 is K-Pods.
K-Pods? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, K-Pods. And then number 6 is the new cocktail K-Pods. And number 7 is...
Holy shit! Timeout. They have cocktail K-Pods.
Yeah, they do.
I think they're called K-Cups. Actually,
I don't know. Every time I listen to K-Rock, like, that they always advertise it. It's like, oh, look, it's like a Keurig for cocktails.
Holy shit! How do you even make powdered alcohol
I
though?
don't know. This episode is sponsored by alcohol.
By Keurig.
By Keurig.
Get into the drink coffee. Drink.
Getting drunk at work has never been easier.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stop by the Keurig and get some coffee.
Does anyone want an extra shot of espresso?
Alcohol.
So now that this pretty much has been wrapped up, how would you guys like to see this taken? Since there's been rumblings that there may be a third trilogy based on the fact that now Rey represents the new Skywalker line.
Oh, well, actually, I don't think it's gonna happen at this point. Yeah, so my actual list for this is Empire Strikes Back is number 1, New Hope is number 2, Return of the Jedi is 3, Last Jedi takes number 4 for me. I really liked it. Fuck you, Stu.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Force Awakens is number 5. Revenge of the Sith is number 6. Phantom Menace is number 7 because of the pod racing. Attack of the Clones is number 8. Number 9 is Solo. Number 10 is Rogue One.
Oh.
Number 11 is the Robot Chicken Star Wars specials. Number 12 is the Clone Wars animated movie. Number 13 is Star Wars Christmas special. And number 14 is Rise of Skywalker. Holy fuck, I think I'm going to give it a 1 or a 2 out of 10. Jesus Christ.
Holy fucking Jesus.
You gave it the worst?
How the fuck?
Hot take.
Right, so,
oh my god,
Here
Ben, I'm gonna suplex you the next time I
go.
see you, Ben.
Right,
Holy shit. Oh my
so
god.
Before we get off the rails here, to be clear,
oh my fucking
Stu gave
god.
it an 8 out of 10. Ben, you are giving it a
1 or 2.
Holy fuck.
Pick one. 1 or 2.
Woo. 2. Fine, 2.
Ben's just doing this
2 out of 10.
He's just doing this for the conflict
Hold on,
to get
wait.
the viewers.
We'll get into this in the spoiler zone, but we want to hold this. All right, for me, I enjoyed the film. I would give it an 8.
Yeah, get fucked, Ben.
Yeah, get fucked, David. Fuck you, man.
But it is a conflicted 8. I mean, 8 is based on the fact that I thought there was a lot of entertainment value,
but
not because of the confusion. If it's
but
based
a
on
2?
fandom, like how I feel as a fan, I would
You're
have probably
literally-
knocked it another
hang
2
on,
points.
he's
Probably
saying
would've
this-
given it a 6.
But he's saying this movie is worse than Dora the Explorer.
Yes.
But that's Wait, hold on, Stu. You have to understand everything is worse than Dora the Explorer.
No, hold on. No. Whoa.
This is not my Batman cup. Yeah. All right. So, just to be clear, Stu said 8 out of 10. I also said 8 out of 10. And Ben said 2 out of 10. We'll be jumping straight into the spoiler zone. Find out after this why he said 2 out of 10.
Because the other 2 were wrong.
Oh my
In
god.
2 seconds. All right, we're in the spoiler zone. Ben, why? 2 out of 10?
Oh boy. Okay, well, the story didn't really stick for me. It kind of stuck out from the other stories and of the 9, the 9 main movies. It didn't really make any fucking sense. I mean, like, episode 7 set up what was supposed to happen in this overarching story, right? There's a new threat out there. There's some mysterious leader Snoke. out there that, seduces the son of Han Solo and Leia and turn him to the dark side. I mean, well, what's this dude's identity? What's his objective? Who is Rey? What will become of Ben Solo? Can he be saved? Turn over to the light side. It was a movie that really set up a lot of questions and a lot of hope for this new trilogy, right? And it was really nostalgic. It was like, even though it was a rehash of 4, it was something new and refreshing, right? It was something we haven't seen in a really long time, and I really like that. It was a breath of fresh air. And then episode 8 came along, and a lot of people did have problems with it, but I really liked it, barring the whole fucking Casino Planet storyline bullshit, like everything else in the movie I really liked, except, oh, we're gonna go to this Casino Planet, and oh, do you hear that noise? It sounds like someone's racing. Nope, it's not pod racing, it's just a whole bunch of fucking horses. What the fuck? They could have brought back pod racing. Jesus Christ. Anyways, it unfortunately didn't have that, I guess in every other Star Wars film, there's some sort of grand sense of adventure, right? You're taken to all these different exotic locales. It's really exciting and all that. Episode 8 is about them on a fucking ship running away from being destroyed and killed, It's really, it's not very hopeful, the whole film. It's very stressful. It's claustrophobic. It also chose to tackle the questions that was laid out by episode 7, right? But didn't give the answer that everyone wanted. It wanted to go a more difficult route. It didn't want to give Rey a predetermined path by saying, hey, you're related to this powerful force-sensitive family, like the fucking Palpatines or something. No. Like, it was, she has nobody. She was nobody, You have no legacy to live up to, no expectations. So it wasn't like, oh, you're going to be good, you're going to be evil. It was more like, you're nothing. You don't have any expectations, really. Like, you don't have to be good or evil. You don't have to be anything. So it was something that was very difficult for a lot of fans to swallow, because it was just like, oh, then what the fuck does she do at this point? And I thought it was kind of interesting, because it kind of set up this whole thing where you don't have to be anyone in this new Star Wars future. Anyone can rise up and take up the challenge, right? It's whoever just gets, lucky and gifted, right? And, well, the resolution of the film kind of shows that Kylo is going to be the big bad guy of the whole franchise, because, he had this choice to either become, turned over to the light side or fall back into the dark side. And it seemed kind of hopeful that he killed Snoke, and he's like, hey, there's no more evil. Where do we go from here? And he decides, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna be evil. And that was pretty powerful. He tries to get Rey to join him, and he still goes over to the dark side, which was kind of cool. And then episode 9 comes along and says fuck you to episode 7 and 8 by introducing fucking Palpatine and the fucking text scroll of the movie. Like, he wasn't even hinted at for the other 2 movies, but it's like, oh yeah, by the way, he's back, and he has zombie ships or some bullshit like that. And then what? That was basically it. It was like, oh, the other 2 movies, everything they set up for it, every little plot line that they set up is completely fucking destroyed almost at this point. And it just seemed like it was pandering to fans, even though it ignored everything else that the other film set up. And that's just it in a general sense. I mean, I got a whole bunch of things for like specifics, but Jesus, man.
Oh man. So that means that probably during the film, Stu, did you see it with Ben?
No, did I? No.
No, okay. Because I know there was a plan for that. That probably means that during the film, all you could hear was Ben just scribbling in his notebook.
Scribbling like a madman.
Yeah, just pictures of Kylo Ren and just X's over his eyes, and then he just kept writing "stupid Emperor." Pretty much writing that over and over again.
I mean, like,
honestly speaking, one of the things that I struggled the most with, the reason why I ended up giving it an 8, is I go back and forth between 6, 7. I always go back and forth with my rating, going 6 or 7, depending on who I'm talking to at the moment, just kind of like getting their impression and stuff like that. I could go as low as 6. I went as high as 8. But if I looked at it just from a pure standpoint of how much did I enjoy the movie, I enjoyed it because I felt like a lot of the things that I wanted out of it in terms of battle scenes, in terms of pacing, this is what I wanted. But in terms of story arc, Ben, I do agree with you. A lot of it seemed rushed. It definitely kind of like put away with all the other two films. But I feel like having to wrap this up in a nice, tight little bow was not going to happen in a third movie. It probably would have required at least one or two more movies. At least one more movie to be able to at least split it into part 1 and part 2. But I feel like because they told J.J. Abrams, they're like, hey, look, you need to wrap this up now. And they never had this line before, but I feel like they had to get to a point. Kind of like the same way episode 3 was, right? They needed to get to the point where Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader. And there was that switch that happened at the very, very end, like literally 20 minutes before the film's about to end, and Obi-Wan is cut off like 3/4 of his limbs, and he is burning, and they're like, but right before that, literally 10 minutes before that, the switch happens, right? They're trying to bridge the gap between episode 2 and episode 3 without having you forced to watch all of the Clone Wars animated series. I feel like that was an almost impossible task, and so based on the fact that I gave that movie a pass, I had to give this one a pass also. Because they had to get to the point where Rey is now the new lineage. She is now a Skywalker because she knew that she was a Palpatine. So for that, I bumped it up from a 6 to now a 7. In terms of just battles in general, and I felt like the suspense level, and I kind of understand what you're talking about, like this roguish nature that like Rey is constantly battling between back and forth. I think it's because there's a tie. There's that strong force tie between Ben Solo and Rey Palpatine at this point, right? Trying to get these, I feel like they're kind of like trying to shoehorn this idea that they're linked in a way, right? They're like from like these two powerful families, right? Palpatine line, and then there's the Solo, Leia, Skywalker, Anakin line. And so for that reason, I was like, okay, I'll hold it at a 7. But then there was it's just the grand scale of everything. That's the reason why I bumped it one more time. I thought there were some missed opportunities, like the guards of Ren. They missed out on. I think that they could have really used them a lot more. Some of the other plot lines I felt like were kind of like just jammed into a shoebox, trying to say, okay, all right, here are all these ideas that we had, and see what sticks, right? I think that there are some unfortunate circumstances that happened. I think this movie probably would have done way better if Carrie Fisher hadn't passed away. They had to make do with what they had. So I think, Ben, that like a lot of your gripes are right. The movie did probably the movie was rushed, and a lot of the plot lines had to be tied up, and there's this weird eeriness over Rey's character the entire time, because you never know if she's going to go back and forth. And then that moment after, I wasn't a huge fan of the way they wrote off Leia. That Leia just gives away her force just to be able to distract Ben or Kylo for 1 second, and then Rey stabs him, and then he sees a vision of his dad.
I'm sure they were working with what they had, like
exactly. So that's why I
don't think you can use that as a fault to this movie.
No. What I'm saying
that's
is
not
like
fair.
No, what I'm saying is if you look at the movie in and of itself and you don't include all the other stuff, that you can knock points for. But because of the situation that they had and the way they had to film, set the film and stuff like that, and they only had very, very limited very limited footage of Rey and Daisy and Carrie together, it's difficult to be able to knock the film to say, oh, you should have totally. They had to go with what they worked with. So that's the reason why, if based on what I have and the information that we have about the surrounding circumstances of the film, that's why I gave it an 8. But if it was just on the film itself, not knowing that Carrie Fisher was not available for all of it, and then some of the other circumstances, I feel like the internet wants to gripe about what they want to gripe about. But I could see a little bit of why Ben gave it a lower score. I don't know about 2. I don't think it was that bad.
You're right.
But I would have probably put it middle of the road. I probably would have put 5 or 6. if it was just on the film by itself. But having all the circumstances of having to tie in all of the entire trilogy, right? It's kind of like Endgame, but they didn't have 4 hours to film to be able to put together a movie. I'm sure we probably could have gotten a 4-hour film. I probably would have wanted to not sit through a 4-hour film. They probably had enough ideas for a 4-hour film, but based on what it is, I'm giving it an 8 based on the external circumstances and all that stuff. Ben, your gripes with the movie are completely valid. I'm counting some of that stuff for sure, but I don't know if it warrants the same rating that I'm sure Cats will probably get. I have a feeling. You know what the sad part is? I have a feeling he's going to give Cats a 4.
He's going to rate it higher than Cats.
It's correct. Cats will be higher.
You're not wrong.
But at that point, after Cats, rating, I will ask you again how you feel about Rise of Skywalker.
He'll give Cats like a 9, and his rating system will just be completely discredited.
Will it though?
You can't.
That's fine.
You can't listen to anything he says.
But here's the thing: is I feel like this movie accomplished what it wanted to accomplish. It's number one. It got people talking about Star Wars again. It definitely was compared. I feel like here's the thing: is it's really tough for me at this point not to compare The Mandalorian with this movie. I know that they're in completely different timelines. I understand they're completely different directors and different source material. But I feel like Mandalorian's pacing, because it is a miniseries, you can get away with doing a lot more stuff and explaining a lot more things and leaving more plot holes and gaps and stuff like that. Unfortunately, a 2.5-hour movie just can't accomplish as much. So some things are forgivable, like, for example, not having enough footage of Leia in this movie. Obviously, there's reasons for that. It's nice to have that nostalgia factor. That got a bump, seeing Lando Calrissian. Wow, okay. And Han Solo is in this one. Leia's in this one. Luke's in this one. I think there was some missed opportunity to be able to have Anakin Skywalker come back in.
He was kind of.
Yeah, okay. I'll give it to you. In a way. His spirit. And then
his voice.
You have Emperor Palpatine. I was the complete opposite of the way Ben felt about it. I actually liked the fact that Emperor Palpatine was in it because I thought that was this wrinkle that you never really expected. I was always waiting for kind of like after you watch the episodes 4, 5, and 6, you kind of have an idea of the way the story's structured, and you kind of have this idea of what's going to happen. I had no idea that Palpatine was really that Rey was a Palpatine. That was extremely shocking to me and was very interesting to me. I wasn't a huge fan of the way it fleshed out, but I did enjoy the fact that there was something I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. So a lot of the reasons that Ben was criticizing or docking points for this movie, I completely do not agree with. I had no problem with zombie Palpatine. I have no problem with pretty much anything that he said. In fact,
Zombatine.
I would say
Can we
that
call him Zombatine?
Zombatine. I think, and Ben will probably have a bullet point list of things to refute me on, but I don't have that in front of me. So, but I will just say, based on feeling and what I watched in the weeks leading up to episode 9, that if anything, I feel like episode 9 was a kind of like I liken it to how the Lakers bounced back from Kawhi basically fucking him over in free agency, making him wait till the last minute before he spurned them and went to the Clippers. Is like they did a really good bounce back after episode 8. I'm not saying episode 9 was the best one, but I definitely do think it was better than 8 and definitely not a 2. Because there were scenes.
I can see where you're coming from for that. That definitely is a good point.
Because there were parts, like I said, in episode 8 I really liked. Like the conflict between Kylo and Rey and all that stuff, and even within Kylo himself. But all of those points got like heavily outweighed by everything else I didn't like about just like else was going on in the movie. So, but whereas episode 9, I feel like there were moments I didn't really like. For example, I didn't really like the whole what was it, Space Coachella or whatever.
Space Coachella.
I wasn't. Yeah.
You mean that desert area they went to?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the salt plains.
Yeah, Space Coachella.
No, not
That's
that
what
one.
Space
Episode
Coachella.
9. What was it? The one with Travis Scott and Rage Against the Machine, Space Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, where was the pop-up tent graveyards?
Wait, what?
Oh, that was the thing. When we went to Coachella, like the night before, they told everybody to drop their pop-up tents because it gets really windy out in Coachella Valley.
Okay.
And the next morning, literally everybody's like half of the camp is dragging their pop-up tent because it got ruined during the night during the first night.
Wow.
So it gets so windy that it pulls tents out of like the stakes out of the ground. And there's like this graveyard in front of every single row of cars. There's like a graveyard of just broken, mangled metal that used to be a pop-up tent.
Sick.
Should have just listened to the guy who was telling you
they
to
said
take
take
it down.
off the Here's
Fuck
a PSA.
you, man. We're not gonna do what you tell us.
Yeah, if you're,
and then
I want to be able
Oops.
to cover my head or whatever during if it rains. It's not going to rain in May or April
or in the middle of the desert.
That's true. Yeah, so like PSA, if you're going to be in Coachella and the night
Fucking
before,
take your tent
when you
down.
go to bed, take down your pop-up tent. You can leave the frame up, no problem, because that has it's open. But take the actual top off and fold it and put it away, so that way you don't have a parachute that that thing that launches and might kill somebody, impale somebody. Luckily, nobody died.
David, were you one of those people?
No, I slept in the bed of a truck.
Oh, okay.
And no,
the
that
hell?
did not fly away.
Okay.
Continue. Sorry.
What the hell were we even talking about? Space Coachella. Yeah, Space Coachella. Yeah, it was just that scene like that. I didn't really like. But I mean, there were things I didn't really like in episode 9. But I feel it was kind of like the opposite for me in episode 8, where episode 8 had more things in it I didn't like than I liked, whereas this one had more things I liked than didn't like. And I'm kind of excluding anything that has to do with Carrie Fisher, any of the scenes, any of the weirdness that might have been a result of her passing away during filming. So one of my favorite scenes I was talking about though was is when they were getting ready to everyone's getting ready to board the Falcon. It was Rey and Poe and Finn and everyone, and Rose shows up and they're like, "Oh, you come with us," and she's like, "No, I got to stay here." And I just had this huge wave of relief just wash over my body.
You didn't want. Actually, there was outrage on all over the place, especially on Twitter. Well, I guess I really can't say it. On Twitter. I'm there's outrage on Twitter.
Fucking, they're always out. Yeah, they're always.
I know. Hold on. So I would like to redact that statement. There. You know what? Forget it. It's already out there. All right. There's a lot of people on Twitter that were really upset that Rose wasn't more involved in the film.
Oh, I'm so glad she wasn't involved. I hated her so much in episode 8.
Yeah.
She's one of the reasons why I rate that movie so low.
She was also involved in the stupid casino plotline. Jesus Christ, why? Why do we need a casino plan?
Yeah.
Why can't we just drop her?
Yeah.
The
So
ship?
why is 8 still higher than 9?
Because holy fuck, man. Let me tell you. Let me fucking tell you. Well.
No. Let's not get into it.
I think you already told us.
Continue.
No, I got a whole fucking.
Oh, I don't think we have time for your whole list.
Oh, we fucking do. We'll fix it in
All
post.
right, you can keep recording.
I think what we need to do is
you can keep recording separate.
You just send us your ideas, and we'll fucking.
We'll take yeah. So after you guys have heard this episode, definitely make some comments below. We'll definitely try to address them. I'm sure Ben will probably be the first one to say something about it.
Let's start a comment battle, comment war in a.
Yeah, flame battle in our comment section, please. We definitely need a little bit more controversy. I did not think that we were going to have so much controversy around this one, but we don't want to take too much time away from Stu. Right. So, Stu, continue. You said that you were happy that Rose wasn't in this one as much.
I was so happy. I was ecstatic because when I saw her in episode 9, I started to get extremely worried that I was about to be watching her for like the next 45 minutes. And I'm really glad we didn't. And part of that is because in episode 7, I think they did a really good job of introducing us all to these new characters that we're going to take up Star Wars, like the rest of the remaining Star Wars episodes, like Poe and Rey and Finn and, and then, obviously all the originals, Leia and everything. And then episode 8, I feel like they did a really bad job of introducing Rose and then the Rose character just in general. So, I was very relieved when they did episode 9, when they were getting packed up, ready to go. I think there was like a little, like, kind of like a final shot, not where they were all like standing near the Falcon. And I was like, oh yes, this is exactly what I wanted to have happen, is to have the whole crew, the original crew, episode 7 crew, just going out and doing stuff. I don't care what it was. So I was really excited for that. And that's one of the big reasons I rated it where I did.
Okay. Any other thoughts on your 8 out of 10 rating? Anything you think that you wanted to mention? I don't want to give Ben any more time because I know Ben only got through like 2 of his 55 bullet points, and I don't want this podcast to be 6 hours.
I don't think I have too much else to say. I mean, other than like maybe I might go around the room and ask, like, or maybe just Ben first, real quick, if you can keep it short.
Yeah.
What were like one of your, if you had one, favorite scenes and one of the scenes you hated the most?
Oh, well, I mean, there were some points that I did enjoy. I just wish it played a larger role in the story. I thought that they were going to set up more with this, but the light speed skipping was a cool idea. That
was awesome.
Yeah, because it was like, oh man, we got to explore all these different areas like really, really quick, and it was a cool way to do a chase scene and like explore the galaxy all in one.
And it also showed off Poe's ability as a
piloting skills.
Yeah, which was really cool.
Yeah, because you always hear about, that's what a pilot this guy is.
He's the best pilot since Luke Skywalker, blah, blah, and then we saw that and it was like, they're like, oh, you can't light skip speed in the Millennium Falcon. I'm like, yeah, you can, and he does it, and I'm like, dang, he must be that good.
Yeah,
right? I mean, what a maverick.
There were like 2 other scenes I was okay with, like the lightsaber battles between Rey and Kylo, where they're in 2 different places, was a cool idea.
That was a really cool concept.
That was really neat.
Like them like interacting with different objects in their respective areas while they're like completely separate. That was a cool idea. And the lightsaber battles towards the end was kind of cool because it was kind of approaching like prequel levels, where they're just doing like backflips and shit. And I don't care what anyone says, the lightsaber fights in the prequels were really cool. Fuck you all. I mean, it was different.
I never said
anybody was going to say against that. I agree with you.
Now you're apologizing.
I agree. Great. I've never said anything about the lightsaber battles, other than that one instance in episode 3.
Where they're just doing
where they just like miss each other like for 30 seconds.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like when that happened, and what was it? Ben Solo gets Rey's lightsaber, right? He
that was badass.
That was, and he gave that little shrug. It was just like, holy fuck, Han! Like, hey, Han.
I'm Harrison Ford now.
Yeah, I'm Harrison Ford, y'all. Yeah, that was really cool. So that was something I did enjoy from the movie.
Okay.
All right, so gun to your head, worst part of the movie for you.
Worst.
Are you sure we should ask Ben?
Oh boy, man, like
all 94 minutes of it. I don't know how long the movie was.
Oh my god, I have lightning that could take down a whole fucking like sky full of fucking starships. But if I was going against a lightsaber with the same amount of lightning, I'm okay. Oh wait, you have 2? Fuck.
Okay.
Why did she bury both Luke and Leia's
I don't wanna get
lightsaber
into
in
it
Uncle
anymore.
Owen's place? Why that place? Was Leia born there? No. Like, what was the significance of that? Why, or how did you even find out where
you
Luke
only get
lived?
one. You chose lightning fingers.
Okay, fine.
Nope, you can't choose. You can't choose
All right,
two.
Stu.
And how did she get Luke's
favorite
lightsaber
moment?
back? What the fuck, man?
I don't remember what happened to it, but those types of things don't factor into my ratings of the movie. Sorry, Dave, what was the question?
Same question to you.
Oh,
Favorite
oh, oh.
moment and worst moment.
Okay, so I think
I
we
wanted,
already know.
it was mostly just to cut off Ben because I know
Yeah,
Ben
yeah.
was going to devolve.
Ben
and
was
we were
about to
gonna
launch into
spend
it.
45 minutes
Yeah.
hearing about the other 95 bullet points. All right, Stu, best moment.
Best moment was shit.
Yeah.
I think for me it was the when Ben is standing on that water thing, and you turn around and you see Han Solo again. Because that was like one of my best moments. So just because I was not expecting Harrison Ford to be in this movie, I had no idea he was going to be in it again. So I was very excited and to see that scene, and it kind of like you kind of get to see him kind of like in episode 8 where he kind of looked like he was becoming the big bad. You see him start to become Ben instead of Kylo Ren. So I thought that was my one of my favorite scenes. And then worst scene.
Wait, quick aside for
when
that, like when he said,
Uh-huh.
you know, I have something to do. You know, he's reciting that line from episode 7.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where it's like, you know, I'm
Yeah.
too scared. I don't know if I'm strong enough to do it.
I have something. I know what to do. I don't have the strength to do it.
It's like, holy fuck, are you gonna like stab a ghost?
Yeah, you're gonna like, son. I'm dead already. You can't kill me
Do it
again.
again, son. Come on, put it away.
I'm going to kill his Force ghost.
And he spends like 3 or 4 swipes with his lightsaber trying to kill him. Oh, I guess I'll
Actually,
just be Ben
I
again.
think that would have probably made the moment better if he just like was like, you could tell like this internal struggle of him like trying to fight this like internal.
I think that would have been too comedic for what the scene was trying to do.
I feel like that the entire like run up to that exact point when right before you know, they're battling after he destroys the marker, not the marker, the beacon. Mm-hmm. And then they're fighting, and then there's a moment where Leia says his name. He gets distracted for a second, and then but I feel like there's that moment where it's just kind of like, I'm not 100% sure where they're possibly going with it, because it seems like he's also struggling to try to drag her over. He feels like he's getting dragged in. And it just kind of I don't know. For me, it lost a little bit, and you kind of like, I was having a little bit of trouble trying to like place exactly where, if there was like a meter based on what side of the, like if he was on the dark or light or neutral at that point, like where he was getting, like where the needle was, right? And then having that moment, that would have been, I thought it was kind of like funny how it was like kind of like the slow, I don't know, out of all the battles, that one was my least favorite one.
Which one? The one in the water?
Uh-huh.
The water thing?
Yeah, I thought it was very anticlimactic. And
But that one has the backflips and the...
it has some of the backflips.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I didn't say that was my favorite lightsaber fight. I just said that's...
I know your favorite moment was
Right.
was Han Solo showing up.
Yeah. And actually, I just remembered, I want to change my worst scene since I already talked about Space Coachella. Is the fucking, when they land on the what are they, destroyers or what do they call them?
The Star Destroyers?
Yeah.
When they land on it and then they're like, shut or jam their whatever signals, and they're like, they don't have any or whatever, and then they show like they're riding all those animals, like the space horses. That's probably the worst scene for me.
Yeah, I mean, like, when have they ever actually shut down, like, speeders or anything in the whole Star Wars, like, compendium of knowledge?
Yeah,
like, I don't remember
never.
anything from the prequels or anything from the original trilogy or anything from, like, the animated shit or anything where it's like, oh, yeah, we could just shut down speeders. Just, like, they just wanted a reason to put those stupid horses in so that they could justify them bringing what's her face from was it actually Endor? I don't even know. I think it's from Endor, where they brought her along. It was just like, what the fuck?
Was she from Endor? I don't think she was from Endor, but
no, because like,
but
right, because that was where the crashed Death Star was, right? Endor.
Was it?
The
was
final battle.
Yeah, because it was the Stardust.
Maybe I don't know. Well, I don't know. We don't have to get into that, but I'm gonna be in agreement with you for as long as I can here, Ben, on this point, because there's an ocean of disagreement behind us. So,
well, let me tell you about the ocean on the moon of Endor when they were going to.
Wait, Kef Bir was the location where the last Death Star 2 crashed.
Cathbar?
Oh, that was Death Star 2?
Death Star 2.
Electric Boogaloo?
That's where they were at for that
Or
battle.
was that Death Star 1?
Oh, first Death Star.
No, Death Star 1 was episode 4, so.
Okay.
What about you, David?
For me, favorite scene was close towards the end when Kylo, or Ben Solo at this point, right, because he has that change of heart, is running with the blaster. No lightsaber, right, because the lightsaber is already, he threw his lightsaber away because he's no longer Kylo Ren. He's running in to chase after Rey, and there's that moment where he turns the corner and he has the blaster and he's shooting everybody, and he's like on point, like pinpoint accuracy every single time. That was the moment that I remember, like he is Han Solo's son. Like that was that moment where he like turns a corner and he doesn't even look and he shoots the guy and he shoots one of the stormtroopers and then like nails him right in the, I'm like, oh, that was cool. Like was having that parallel, and then that scene leads right into the moment that Ben said that he really enjoyed, which was the Force, that link that Rey and him have, and he ends up with the Luke's lightsaber, and then like takes out his own like posse, I guess, the protectors of Ren or whatever,
Knights of Ren,
the Knights
of Ren.
Oh, the Knights of Ren. And I thought that was my favorite. That was my favorite lightsaber battle, even though there wasn't another lightsaber. I thought that was incredibly cool what they did, because it showed off all the Force powers and how cool, Kylo Ren was, and, some of the stuff that that's the part I love about Star Wars is that kind of stuff. The Force powers, and then the lightsaber battle, and then also the it was like that was like the culmination of the entire movie, was seeing the connection between Rey and Ben, and then also just his like final evolution of him actually turning towards the good side, towards the light, and the good side, and becoming more like a Jedi, kind of like completing his training that he was supposed to complete with Luke. So that was my favorite moment. It was kind of seeing that whole that transition in that moment from being, instead of shedding his old, from being Kylo, on the dark side, to now being Ben Solo, Han Solo's son, channeling that, and then now becoming a Jedi by being able to transfer, through the Force, be able to get that lightsaber, kind of like a Die Hard style, on his back, and then the smirk.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah.
Emperor
If only he had
Palpatine.
just said that. He said, yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Palpatine.
Mr. Falcon. Mr. Palpatine.
Yeah, Mr. Falcon. That would have been icing on the cake. My least favorite scene actually has to do with Stu's favorite scene.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was incredibly rushed.
You didn't like
I know that
you didn't
they
like
needed
that scene.
Oh, I like the fact that Han Solo shows up. But I wasn't a huge fan that all of a sudden he just like, and he goes, yeah, okay, and then turns around and throws his lightsaber away. I'm like, that was such a, just almost a throwback to episode 3, of where they needed to get Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader. And so there was this like this switch that flips, and all of a sudden just he goes on this rampage of evil. We get it. He has a dark side to him, and and it's always been in there. I'm talking about Anakin Skywalker, and then in this case, Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, whatever it is, like he's always had that good side in him because he's a Solo, and he's also Leia's son, and that's part of that needs to be done as well. So I mean, I can understand the reason why, Stu, you liked it. I'm not knocking the need for it. It's just that it wasn't my favorite because I felt like they could have done a little bit more with it, and I wish they had.
But your least favorite, or like the worst scene? You didn't like the like
Ben
you saying you like Space Coachella more?
Lightning fingers, but I gotta pick something not lightning fingers because I'm pretty sure lightning fingers for everybody. Not everybody was a fan of.
I didn't have a problem with lightning fingers.
Well, I thought it was really dumb that all of a sudden he just Wi-Fi'd everybody with his fingers and
Wi-Fi'd everybody.
Oh, look, I have a range extender now that I've stolen your guys' life force. So I'm now back.
Okay,
yeah,
you
get
guys
out of here.
You guys have played MOBAs before, right? The characters have their ultimates.
He's Palpatine, not Zeus.
Characters have ultimates, right? And so you can't just use them all the time. So I don't see you complaining about not being able to ultimate.
Nobody has that.
I don't see you going, man, McCree, I can't do high noon every time. Why not?
No, that's not true. High noon happens all the time.
Again, every attack can't be high noon. Why not? This is bullshit.
It feels like it is, especially if they have more than one. So, I mean, I think this film did its job. It got us talking about Star Wars, especially some of us are more controversial than the others. If I named a movie star or a television star, would you be able to tell me where he's from?
Sure.
I promise this is related. Jake Cannavale.
Is he from Lost or something? Or Alias?
No, he is the Mandalorian star that trashed the Rise of Skywalker.
Wait, what?
Can you guess which
star?
Star. I thought it was extremely generous when I saw the headline. The Mandalorian star Jake Cannavale heavily
who he
criticized
actually plays
Star
in
Wars:
the
The Rise of Skywalker. He was the bounty hunter, the wannabe bounty hunter in Episode 4.
Oh, okay.
I just thought I wanted to throw that.
Stay in your lane, bro.
I know. It's like, whoa. Man, I saw Mandalorian start. I was like, oh, shoot. I thought it was Mando. I thought it was, what's his name? I forgot his name.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. I thought he was the one that was criticizing it when I saw the headline, which said Mandalorian star trashes Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, using the star a little loosely there.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I thought that would be interesting if you guys would know who that is. I was like, dude, the guy was barely in that episode to begin with, and then he's not in the series at all.
Yeah, he was in one episode. Like all the other, there are other characters who had smaller roles in other episodes that are bigger, more well known than him. So
I was really expecting when I heard Mandalorian star, I was like, well, okay, outside of Mando's character. Baby Yoda didn't say anything, so that's definitely not an actor.
Nick Nolte.
I was like, is it Gary Busey?
Yeah, Gary Busey.
No, it's Nick Nolte. Is it? No, it's Nick Nolte.
Oh, I thought. I get those two confused.
Yeah, I know they're very easily confused.
I was like, wait, was it Nick Nolte? And I was like, it's not Nick Nolte. I was like, it's this
Gus from Breaking Bad, or the lady stormtrooper, or not stormtrooper. Dropper, whatever.
I thought that was kind of an interesting headline. I was like, maybe they should have reworded it. Trash Mandalorian actor.
That's how they got your click on it.
I know.
Just
damn you,
star,
digital spy.
So
it's fine.
It's the clickbait.
But yeah, I think overall speaking, there were points in the movie that even Ben had to say he enjoyed. And parts he really didn't enjoy, like
the rest.
From what
of
it
the
sounds
movie,
like,
the rest of the fucking movie. God,
he makes it.
Okay. All right, we're not gonna devolve. This
Okay,
yes, we are. We're going. We're going. All right, pack my shit. I'm ready to go. Let's fucking.
All right. So overall speaking, I think it was a decent movie. I think Ben probably enjoyed parts of it. I think
Ben had a little bit of an overreaction, but
yeah, maybe a little bit. I'll agree with Stu on that. But let's just wrap this one up. I'm sure there'll be much more of this that we'll be talking about. I think at some point it behooves us, since now that this entire saga is done, that we review them in their entirety. I think that would be great. A little bit of a small project for us to be able to kind of do a reprieve and do a little bit of a in memoriam of the 9 films. Looking at them from different perspectives now that their entire thing is done, and then just kind of talking about it from there. So that might be a project we might look forward in the future. So we're going to exit the spoiler zone now at this point. And guys, what do you guys want our movie of the week for next week to be?
Cats.
Is it 1917?
Cats.
Is it Cats? Ben, if you say Cats, we are actually going to review Cats.
No, we're not.
Because I'm already watching it
It's
tomorrow.
gonna
So cats.
No.
Cats.
All right, we'll go with 1917. All right.
I almost want to hear Ben's review of Cats, just so I can see where if he's rating it. Because Ben, you've painted yourself into a corner here. You have nowhere else to go.
Oh,
Yeah, like you put him. You did. It wasn't like you put Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker at 5,
Yeah.
and then you can go above or below. You literally put it at the bottom. Like if Cats is so bad, you have to give it a 1.
But he won't. He's gonna give it like a 6 or something.
yeah, I know where I stand.
All right,
I know what I've done.
Hey, Stu, we should bet a sandwich on this.
Ooh.
I
Whether-
think he's gonna.
No,
you say
see,
he's
now-
gonna give it a 6.
now he's
I
just-
think he's gonna give it a 7.
I think he's just be rating it. I don't know. I think it's tainted now. I don't think it's.
Yeah,
you
who do I
like,
want to
now
get
that
a
we've
chicken
influenced it?
sandwich?
I think
Oh no,
it's.
this is just between me and Stu.
Okay, well, let me tell you, I didn't paint
Okay.
myself into a corner, Stu, because there's nowhere else to go but up from here.
No, he put his litter box
That's
in the corner.
Ben,
There's
that's
no
the
painting
exact
here.
definition of
Cats
being
don't
painted
paint.
into a corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what, Stu? I kind of want it to be Cats so that way we can hear. I just want to hear what his synopsis is.
All right, let's pretend it's Cats, and then we'll switch to 1917 in the middle of the episode.
Well, I'll have both of them prepared just in case. So, all right, join us next week. We don't know if it'll be Cats. It'll probably be 1917, but there's a
we
high
know.
chance
I
that
think we know.
Yeah, we know.
Ben will be reviewing Cats, and me and Stu will be reviewing 1917. So join us next week where we'll be, we'll have a split review, 1 review for Cats and 2 reviews for 1917, even though Ben can also jump in because he has also seen it as well. Based on the previous reactions I heard earlier today, I think it should be a really great film and should have some interesting talking points, especially since it has Benedict Cumberbatch in this one as well. So it can't be a bad film if it has that guy in it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, all right.
Whatever you say.
So, all right, join us next week, and we'll see you guys then.
Hi, I'm David. I'm Stuart.
I'm Ben.
I'm
And
I'm Ben.
All
David.
right, don't forget to tip your Reiki masters, and we'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye.
I'm Stuart, and he's Ben.
Yep.
Okay, David, don't let us say anything. Okay, bye.
You already said all 3.
no,
Okay. Okay, bye.